cul-de-sac on Crooked Creek. We want to replace, this doesn't sound right, but it is right. He says jasmine, but I don't think there's jasmine in there. What it is juniper that is in that cul-de-sac. And they are original to the community, and they do have a root problem. And they're very aged. They're just not, they've lived out their lifespan in there, and they don't look good anymore. So what we were proposing was to give it a little color with some crotons, take out the junipers, and go in with some Green Island ficus. There are some of those that are already there. And also some crotons to give it just a little pop of color in there.
The Green Island ficus, is that a little bit more hardy than some of the ficus that we have?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just a low-growing shrub.
Mm-hmm.
It is from the ficus family, but it really doesn't look anything like the Ficus benjamina or the ficus tree that people are used to seeing. It's got a thick leaf, kind of like a.
On the golf course.
How do, I confess I haven't looked at where we stand with our budget on the landscape. Do you have any idea what's left in this fiscal year?
Honestly, no, I don't. I'll be happy to look into that and request that information.
Okay. 'Cause I
You
remember
should
the
have,
year
you should
before
have a
we-
good bit,
Yeah,
but,
because the year before we somehow it got
There
dropped
had-
in the
yes.
budget, and this year we definitely did put it in. I think it was 18 to 20 grand somewhere around.
It was 20,000.
And,
yeah, and I don't think
just-
we've really done much
Done
of
much,
anything.
okay.
We replaced a few awabuki in there, and that was it. The next one is Bluestone cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
No, this, gosh, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Bluestone doesn't have a cul-de-sac.
No, it does not.
It's the Bluestone entrance road on the right and left side,
Oh.
or the east and
Well, it
west
doesn't-
side.
Yeah, it doesn't really say cul-de-sac at entrance. Okay.
No,
It
it
says
does.
west side.
Bluestone.
This is Bluestone, Stoneybrook, and this is enhanced declining landscape on both sides of the road
Right.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
before the circle.
Yep, yep.
So, like we say, on the west side would remove, there's Indian hawthorn there that has declined, and it is, again, it's not gonna rebound and ever look good again.
Mhm.
And there's, they're in between the Mexican petunias and the juniper, so what we thought was, the Mexican petunia's gonna spread up a little bit, and I would love to get rid of all of them in Gateway, but I know that's not a feasible thing to do, the Mexican petunias, so, and they still look good.
Yeah,
So
just keep going. They just
Yeah,
keep going.
they just let
Trim
them keep going, they still look good.
I
But we
saw
wanna
some
get
go
rid
up.
of the hawthorn and just extend the juniper to fill in the areas so you don't have that gap. And on the other side also, there is again Indian hawthorn between the juniper and jasmine, and there's firebush on the other side, so we'd put firebush in there to fill in the gap. Again, it would look like that's the way you did it right from the get-go.
Okay. Not too bad, and that's the entrance post, and I know we're talking about that is a little deeper there.
Yeah, it doesn't look, but it won't take much to make it look a lot better. Along the asphalt path, this one is, Pebblestone after Bluestone,
Looks like it's after, between Bluestone and Pebblestone. Two lots.
by the asphalt path. Yeah, he's just got it written up a
Yeah,
little funny here,
Cobblestone
doesn't
after
he?
Bluestone.
Yeah, and then he's got on the circle, but there's not a circle there.
Mhm.
It just needs a few jasmine to fill in. There was a couple of them. It looks like it's got some broken teeth in there, to me.
We're going to be looking at doing some significant repairs on that asphalt, and this isn't gonna, one will not impact the other, will it?
We could wait.
It could wait.
Okay.
This could wait
Wait.
definitely until that
That's
is
done.
done, and it might not be a bad idea to do that.
Put a notation on that, but we'll.
Okay. See, that's the same thing right there. He's got the same place.
Now, this one's on the cul-de-sac on Pebblestone.
This is the cul-de-sac on Pebblestone.
I make a motion to pass.
Yeah, the juniper down there, again, there's
That in
a,
front.
there's a lot of juniper and Indian hawthorn in the community that have just outlived its lifespan, and it's never gonna look nice again.
What's flax lilies?
Flax lily, that's the little plants as you enter the community and you have the guardhouse in the middle and the fence, the little plants that we put along the fence there on the edge.
Green
That's-
and, green
yes.
and light green.
Yeah,
They're all over.
Okay.
They spread like,
There's
Yep.
another name for it. There's two different, those are the ones that a lot of people make hedges out of, right?
yeah, they're not gonna make a good
No,
hedge
they're too
because they
low.
don't really get that tall.
It's more yellow leaf, right?
It is a variegated leaf. It is green and a yellow leaf.
green and light green.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure I know what that's about.
And then tighten the bed with sod.
Okay. And the first lift station on the right side, his side, so it's right side of Pebblebrook, install a Bougainville.
That was a request, from a resident,
Casey?
and another resident.
I think it's needed.
And this would be in behind that first lift station, and we would come out a good distance off of that fence, but just make a, half circle back there. And bougainvilleas were requested because people aren't gonna cut through them.
Because they do have little prickers on
Well,
them.
They do.
They
That's-
grow hypodermic needles.
Okay.
They do,
That's-
yeah.
that's
I've got 'em on
needed.
the side of my
The key
house.
thing here is that, how do we protect them until they get established? Because the kids are gonna just stomp right over them.
And that was considered, and, what they would do is come in on a trellis to start with,
Okay,
tied to a trellis that, how big did he get them? 7 gallon. And they would be 7 gallon and about 4 foot tall to start with.
Oh.
And on it with a trellis to support them in the beginning.
That's like that little screen?
Yes, that's a
Okay.
little wooden thing to keep them, that they will tie
Right.
them to hold them up. But as they get going, you know that you can make quite the hedge. You can let it go as tall and wide as you want.
So we're pretty much
but-
putting that there just to keep people from cutting in and out of
Yes.
that area.
$7 for a bale of pine straw, that seems high to me. Those bales in there, seem like those bales are shrinking all the time. I mean,
Well, we can cut back on that some,
well,
and
I'm just saying though, I don't wanna cut back, I wanna cut back on the prices.
we want them to cut back on the prices,
It
and
just seems like that's really jumped up, and I'm not sure why that might be.
I'll double check into that, Joe.
If I went back a couple of 2-3 years or something, it don't seem like.
I will double check into that and see. And if it's
I
back
could be
that
wrong.
far, they'll always use the excuse, well, the gas went up, you know.
Yeah, well, they can't use that one.
They can't use that one anymore.
Well, I know, but if it's like companies like the people that deliver propane gas, you know, they added that fuel charge years ago,
Mhm.
and it's still there.
Yeah, propane's ridiculous, you guys should be using natural gas.
It's still there.
All right, well,
And again, you don't have to make a decision on this today, you know, if you wanna,
I think this is the time of year to get this going. though,
Yeah.
'cause
it
we're
is
in
the time
wet
of year to
season.
do it, but
Joe,
get established
how much we
fast.
have in our budget? This is about 10 grand.
Is it really?
It's not quite 10,
Well, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's not.
Close to it.
I don't think so.
You doing New York math over there?
Yeah.
See, that's,
Kickback.
that's
this guy,
11, that's 11, that's 2.
We're gonna hold on one, this is 1192, so let's say it's 1200. 1800.
No, it's
That
about,
one we're holding off.
that was a
on.
little
That's
off. It's about half
23.
that. It's about half that, it's about 5 grand.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
About 5 grand.
About 5 grand, I think we can do that though. And this is something we have talked about before. It's not big major, and, I'll tell you, you know, the big one here is the 1556, but we have been kicking this around for a few years now.
yeah, for the the bougainvillea
Well,
hedge.
yeah, and for the problems with the cut-throughs over there, coming in,
Yeah.
cutting into those homes on Bluestone. Hopefully, this would help solve some of that problem.
Now, we have to keep part of that opening that's in the front part of the hedge access from Pebblebrook for FPL to get to their transformer that's back there. You know, we have the lift station.
When was
and-
the last time they went in there? Besides when they-
FPL?
Yeah, when they ran the power line.
Yeah, it was when I don't know how often they go in there,
But
but
they have to have access.
yes, they have to have
They have to have
access, and
access.
OSHA says that we have to keep the front and the back a 3 foot clearance for safety for them to come in and work on it when they do work on them.
We saw what they did in my street, right?
Yeah, I know, they didn't do that to mine, fortunately.
They, when they need to move something, they don't do it,
Well, I
not,
tried to
they
keep it
at
trimmed
the
back.
ground with a chainsaw and it's
But they
out of
peeled
here.
it back, yeah. All right, I'm thinking about, not to be able to have kids having access through to cut through into those people's backyards.
Right.
Um,
Well, that's what I'm saying. In the front now, the hedge is kind of staggered,
Yeah,
so that FPL
Can-
can still access that box.
and but yet,
But- They shouldn't be able to come through from the back if you put in that many bougainvilleas
Okay.
back there.
Does anybody have any comments on this? Thoughts on this?
Looks good to me.
All right,
Those
what's the-
bougainvilleas, they grow tight together too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will grow in together and
Yeah.
become, like I say, a solid hedge that I won't cut through either.
On the last page here, it says replace Mexican petunias due to an invasive plants.
And they're
I find
just
it-
not looking real good there.
Okay, but I can't imagine when invasive plants could overtake those things grow as good as weeds, you know?
Well, it's the Mexican petunias that's the invasive plant.
Oh,
Yeah, they're on,
due to being invasive.
yeah, they are
Replacing the
category
plants.
1 exotic invasive with the Florida Invasive Society.
Interesting. They planted them all over our community. I
Oh,
Yeah.
and they still sell them at the,
I have them
Nursery.
in my yard, I don't mind them at all, as long as I can
Yeah.
get trimmed and cut, you know?
that's when I get, not upset is not the right word, but concerned when residents trim those and, toss them out back and there's a preserve area or
Yeah, well, we
something.
have that down the street from me.
Yeah,
No, I put them out with the,
yeah, they need to go in the garbage
yeah, you
bag.
can get a big box thrown in there. No, you can't, the garbage won't take your garbage though. You gotta put them out for the recycling.
Recyclable.
Well, I just say that there was a little encroachment in another community in Gateway, and there is a preserve area back there, and they had planted Mexican petunias in it. And I'm like, you need to pull those, put them in a garbage bag, tie it up, and leave it out by the road.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a resident that did that, it wasn't the community, I assume.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's all handled, no problem.
Well, let's say this, I'd like to put the one that is by the pavement, and that's one of the smaller items here anyway.
There by the asphalt path?
Yeah, the
Yes.
asphalt path, put that on hold, and I'd like, does anybody like to make a motion to approve the rest
I'll
of it?
make that motion.
Anybody wanna second it?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I will get that handled for
You
you.
know, if they ever replace
No,
the plants in 82,
I spent some
those
time with,
bougainvilleas might be a good thing. You know,
Anchorage
you get people
Reservice.
to cut through
Okay.
there too.
about the pine
I'll talk to you about
beetles.
that later.
Uh-huh.
The preserves
'Cause that's
behind,
us.
between Greenstone and Pebblestone, is that a preserve? 'Cause he was-
Behind Greenstone
Behind
is,
Greenstone's only preserve,
that's correct.
Okay, that's the one that's on our plot, is behind Greenstone.
that's correct. Everything
The only
else
one is behind Greenstone and over across Gateway Boulevard next to the villages.
Right,
Yeah, the other areas are limited cut areas, we cut quarterly, usually hedgehog them.
okay.
Yeah, those are preserved green space.
Yeah.
So
They're
that's-
not a jurisdictional wetland or upland preserve.
I guess he was making comments about removing some of those large pine, the ones that we have that are dead. He goes, I can maybe cut them down, but I gotta see if they're preserves, I won't be able to remove them.
No, he can
you know
remove
that?
those.
Yes, I know,
Yeah, I didn't know
and
that.
we're fine,
Yeah.
and we're fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
We have
was
already
it
removed
Carter
some
that
of them.
came out to talk to
Yeah.
you? Tell him that he's welcome to call me to verify if he would like.
Yeah, I'll let him know, but, there were several behind Greenstone in that preserve area that are close to houses.
Gotcha, that
But
also
he
needs.
said he would just top off and leave a 20-foot trunk and leave the stuff back
Well,
there.
that, or they can cut them low and make sure they fall into the preserve and leave them there.
This is on the side next to Hampton Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that section over there, it's not that big, but that's the actual preserve.
Okay.
And I would only take things down that were in threatening houses.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing we're
Yeah,
taking down.
everything else back there, we let nature take its
We
course.
have cut a couple of them out back there before that were leaning very precariously towards the home, or one that actually fell, but it fell long ways of the property, and we had that
Just moved
cut
it.
up and moved. What we do.
Can you take a look at those just to see?
Absolutely, I'll be happy to.
Which
All
one
right,
is the one
appreciate it.
with me, or?
Well, the ones that you're talking about over in
In the
the preserve.
preserve area, the ones that are behind your house, You don't have to worry, you can cut those down,
Okay.
Yeah.
as long as you have the blessings of the HOA.
Well, yeah, that's, I gotta wait till we get to bed.
He's on the HOA now too.
I know.
In fact, he's vice president. Yes.
And then since we're on the gateway now, there's a lot of dead trees on our lakes that I told him that we'll probably need a second bed for.
Okay, and those will come out of the waterway management, it's not gonna come out of your.
It doesn't come out of the
Doesn't come
04?
up for it, no.
Mm-mm.
That's
Okay.
part of the Gateway Water
Cause
Management.
we've lost some pines and some oaks.
Some pines and some oaks.
We lost, I don't know what kind of trees.
Yeah.
No, those are
now
waterway,
I'm
that's
talking different, yeah.
No, well, I thought you were gonna be talking about the cypress.
I did too, that's
There
what
might be
I-
one cypress. that
There's
might
a
be
few
dead.
cypress that are.
There,
There-
yeah,
there's
I've
some- there's
noticed
some-
3 or 4 of them that look like they're kinda iffy.
Yeah.
Some of them had some little stunted
We
green growth,
have
and I
some
wanna just
that
see
have
what,
never grown from day one, and day
Yeah.
one's almost 10 years now.
right.
They're just.
The
not-
ones that we put in.
Are doing fine.
2 years ago,
Are doing fine.
looking
Yeah,
good.
they were not planted well initially, we lost some of those.
Correct.
And we anticipated that some of them would continue to die, and
Yes,
it's
we did.
happening.
We
It's
took out the
happening.
worst ones when we replanted, and there's also several of the cypress trees that are on the lake that runs along 82's berm, on the
Yeah.
backside of that pond. There's some back there that we're going to have to get to at some point and replace those too. But they're not on the boulevard right in front of everyone's face as you
Right.
come back and forth from home.
Yeah,
and
along
everything.
Pebblebrook Boulevard there's some ugliness out there that
Yeah.
probably should go away.
Okay.
And some of them are in the middle of other trees that were planted, they're kinda clustered in groups sometimes, and I don't even think you need to replace them, just take them down and get it out
There
of
you
the
go,
way.
and sometimes that's the best
Yeah,
solution.
so if you could take a look at that too.
Okay, pines and,
I
I'll come
thought I
down.
saw, I thought I saw some oaks in there,
I'll come down and, I think I did see one that was small and
dead.
not looking happy yet.
I don't think this one was even alive. How'd the tilapia removal go?
Tilapia removal's going along quite well.
What would, I'm a little bit out of the loop on this, what was the motivation for that, why are we doing that?
Invasive.
Tilapia are detrimental to our stormwater ponds, because you see the big round beds that they dig
Yeah.
along the pond banks?
That's tilapia doing that?
Tilapia, that's
I thought
tilapia.
that was bass doing.
But they breed their babies in their mouth.
You see,
You ever see that,
What's he do with all that
Boy.
tilapia?
Sells them at
Wow.
Gator Farm and
Yeah,
fertilizer.
Are they sell them
Oops,
live?
I'm sorry, I got hit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so they
saw them
die.
out in the lake.
Yeah,
From our place?
yeah.
This is from one pond
On
Let me
Pebble, I
see that
saw
one.
in
them
Stoneybrook,
on Pebblebrook.
and he
That's
was
a-
only there for about
That's some
3
good-
hours
That's
at
some
that
good
point.
eating right there.
What are
Wow.
they living off of? How are they surviving?
Shoot,
a
they're
multiple pond like that?
They're
They're
bottom
scavengers.
feeders.
Wasn't that a
I'm
good
gonna
thing?
stop eating
Boy, they
tilapia.
can eat.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what?
bottom feeders
They're
and,
like catfish.
yes.
Yeah.
Those are some good sizes. That'll take, right there, that's 9 months worth of growth.
Hmm.
Okay, let's,
And that's just, that's maybe 2% of what we
I
have in
didn't
our
think
lakes.
tilapia got that big, I didn't realize.
Look at a pond and a half.
I know,
See,
I
good.
got 2
Good
copies.
But yeah,
place.
they're detrimental to the pond bank. They dig those big holes and it promotes erosion
Okay.
and washouts.
You like tilapia?
And they're also gonna be taking out some of the other
should teach you
exotic
that.
fish.
It's a lot of
And they
fat.
come from
I should teach you about tilapia.
birds
Mhm.
popping the
Yeah.
eggs
It
in
is
the-
more than
Yes.
some,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I should teach you how to, I should
Other
teach you how to do
wildlife
the
can spread
aquaponic
them.
system.
I figured we could have a fish fry in the
You
club.
you guys
Yeah.
do a lot of this.
Does
See that big
anybody ever
tote that I
check
have out there?
that big preserve
That's what it's
behind
for.
Stone Valley Loop?
But he
and
just
connect
does
to
cast
Ivory
netting.
Stone or whatever
Yeah, that's
it
what
is?
these guys were doing.
There's a common area
Alex,
there.
Alex cast
Yeah.
netting and
That's
catching, not
between
those,
Ivy
but
Stone
catching a
and,
lot
that's
of
between
stingrays.
Ivy Stone
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
open area, but it's
I
not
know, but-
preserved.
That, what they put
Well,
on the lake,
whatever,
that's
does it,
maybe
I mean, you cut it, so I'm
5%
just
in there.
wondering, does
That's why it's
anybody
like,
ever?
why you
We
do
check
it?
it now, yes, we do.
We're gonna be going down
Well,
to
I mean,
Cape
you know, I
Cod.
kinda do a drive-by, I don't really
Does
always get in there and walk
scallops
the
and
whole thing,
oysters and-
cause it goes in and then it loops back around.
Yeah,
And you're kinda right in people's,
I think it
you know,
is.
Oh, not-
you
not like
surprise
sand,
people
but
when
not-
you,
It's just not a lot of
hey,
nutritional
Uh,
hey,
value.
when
no,
somebody goes back
salmon
to the
is
dog, that's when
oily,
you
but
get
it's
surprised, they should be.
healthy.
oh
It's
yeah,
a
they leave you
healthy oil.
surprised,
Yeah.
right,
Look at
but,
how
I
we
do
can
go by and
tilapia.
make sure it's mowed, and I, you know, it's
Once a month?
strictly a mow area.
Just once a month.
They
No, it
mow it,
doesn't.
they should mow it,
Doesn't have the good
right now, they
values.
should be mowing it more often than that, unless it's wet.
Yeah, well,
Trust
When
me,
it
my
gets
doctor
wet,
got all over
then they're
me.
gonna leave ruts, which is another whole maintenance thing, so if it's
Yeah.
wet in the middle, leave it till it dries out enough that you can get in and mow it and not leave ruts.
That should be September.
Well, actually, Actually, we haven't
I'll
had a
get
lot
it.
of
Flay,
rain,
2.3
and
grams of fat.
if they can
Not
mow
too
the
bad.
soccer pills, they could, you know, they'll be able to
23 grams
mow
of
over
carb
there.
or
You
protein.
take care of the
Zero
irrigation
carbs.
people too.
What's the
Yes, ma'am.
cholesterol?
All right,
I don't know.
I think it
I'll
was
look
on
at
a
that.
Sunday, I was going out about
50 milligrams.
7:30, 7:45, and right after turn off Stone Valley onto Pebble Brook. I always get those
It's-
streets mixed up. Right there on the left-hand side, was going right out into the street.
Oh, the irrigation head,
Yes.
was it broken and just shooting out like a
Well-
fountain, or was the head turned and not,
I don't know,
Okay.
all I know is that it was just
okay,
spraying
coming out
the-
of, against
Stone Valley.
Stone Valley to the right.
to the right, yes,
Okay.
going out the gate. And
I
then
will
the
ask them to-
street before Weatherstone also is watering the street
Better
Okay.
on the left-hand side.
Maybe it would behoove me to ask them to do a wet check on
And they
Pebble
grow
Brook
pretty
They're
and
supposed
adjust
to
the
do that with
heads
some
as necessary.
regularity. I know
Once a
they've
month.
had some
Yeah.
turnover
You have to
and
really
they've
be
had
careful 'cause of
issues with
mercury.
people. I don't know who's doing it right now, but they should be doing that with some regularity. For that
Once a
exact
month, and
reason.
we have a new guy here, his name is Mark
Okay,
Goddard. He was actually out here before, young guy with blonde hair.
okay.
But I thank you for letting me know that, and I will ask them to go down and do a wet check on Pebble Brook and adjust heads as necessary to make sure we're watering turf, not street.
And but there was no broken ones, these were just pointing in the wrong
Did-
direction.
I don't know if it was broken, it was spraying out to the street, so I don't know.
I see some guys digging up there on the main street. Did you see them when you came in today on the way home?
Well, those guys have been digging in to put the pads in for the benches.
Yeah,
That's what you're
yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Up on top on the hills,
Yeah.
that's
You
where
should
the
see the
pads to the
vegetables
benches
that are
are installed.
There's some damage down there where
Can't
they
really those
drove across
pictures.
the sidewalk and stuff. They didn't break the sidewalk, but I'm thinking that there's some irrigation damage and there's some pretty big ruts from the concrete truck. I got
Okay, I don't know
pictures.
about that, all right.
I just got pictures of it today and I'm like, concrete pads? We're not putting in concrete pads. I'm like, just wait, I'll check with Joe or JT and they'll let me know what's going on.
Yeah, and,
So-
well, we let Scott know, give him a heads up on that, and there was no apparent problem, because where we were installing them wasn't, it was in the property that is common area for us,
Yeah, yeah.
between you and the lakes, and,
Well, I know, but I mean.
but I didn't
that's
realize they
not-
were gonna drive the trucks up there and make big divots with the tires in the trucks.
Mainly what I received a picture of was between the sidewalk and the curb.
Okay.
I saw
I'll
some
tell them
stuff
to go
there that was
away.
dug up, yeah, but I didn't realize
That's all.
that's what caused that, okay.
Did they, I don't remember ever seeing them up on the curb
Put it
though.
in
Neither did
It's,
I.
it's double, it's double.
I say, I've seen
the better
Mainscape
way
on the
to
curb lately.
Yeah.
Well, I don't doubt that, but they weren't pouring concrete.
Yeah, that's true.
This was concrete.
This was a concrete truck.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't seen them pour concrete yet. The workers that installed the
Well,
barriers.
we have some
They're in there now?
concrete pads that have been poured.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't
Yeah,
know
the-
that.
The picture, I didn't get a picture of the truck. I got a picture in the message, concrete truck,
Mhm.
pouring your concrete bases. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Who did it come from,
No.
one of your vendors, or was that just from a resident?
it came from a vendor.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm like, okay, I'll check into it, but I didn't want anybody to get in.
If you
Until-
get a
until
chance
I
to look
talk
at
to
that,
you
let me
two.
know. Let me know. Anybody have anything else for Elle while she's here?
Thank you.
All right, so we're good to go on this with that one.
Back to work.
Back to work.
Thank you,
Thank you.
folks. Have a great day. If I can help you in any way, don't hesitate.
Thanks for
to
making
let
our
me know.
meeting meaningful,
We
because we
start
wouldn't have
budget
much going
next
on
month.
today.
I tried.
We start the budget next month, don't we?
No, we're done the
September?
budget.
Yeah,
We're
we
done
just
the
did it
budget.
like
We did
3 months
last
That
ago.
gets-
month or the month
We do it in
before.
late spring, and
They
then
approve.
it kicks it off to
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
and, and they're playing around. They're not done yet, are they? Or are they done?
With the budget?
Yeah.
No, they were supposed to go over the capital improvement last meeting, and they didn't even touch it upon it. And, the next meeting is the last one, cause
And
the
before-
20th is it,
They might wind up with a special meeting to finish it up.
sometimes they do.
I know. One of the things you can look at is that if you haven't been going to the meetings lately, they're incredible plans of things that have to be done, or things that were neglected, especially in sewage and valves and valve maintenance, and a lot of money's gonna be getting spent in the next year or two. and
You mean from us or from here?
From everyone within Gateway. Look for your fees and your taxes to go up. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
We got the letter already.
Yeah, well, that, the stuff they're talking about doing, I don't think it's even been factored in yet, has it?
I think there's been projections out,
Okay.
yeah.
So they're talking about spending $2 million just on lakes.
Hell, they have so much money in their,
Not so much anymore. Now, once they get done fixing up these roads and turning them over.
yeah, I know, but
In any case,
It's a really old system.
yeah, it's been around since
And it
'88 or
hasn't-
something like that.
true, yeah. Okay, where are we?
Discussion on absent committee
Again?
members. We've been kicking this one around and talking about it.
Let's do something.
And, you know, Virginia has health issues she's missed, but, you know, that's another story. We have some things where, I've talked to Tom Roller, and I like having Tom on the committee. He does bring something to the table, he has knowledge, education, background, but if he's not here, he's not here, it doesn't help us. He has offered to resign if need be, and wouldn't have a problem with it. We have, on the other hand, another member that just never shows up, and I'm not sure what he offers anyway, but it's something, we gotta do something. We just need to thin out the crowd. If they're non-participating members, why do we have them?
Well, weren't you going to bring up a discussion at the Gateway
Yes.
Board when Nicole was coming on?
Well, I was not at that meeting when Nicole was getting voted on,
Oh,
and so I could not do it.
Did you ever send out the letters?
I wasn't supposed to send them out.
I thought you were gonna send a letter out to ask if they
No,
wanted to continue
You were
being on.
supposed to write it.
You were
Write
supposed to
it,
write
and I
it
had
and
to
get it
go
over.
out, yeah, I just got squeezed, compressed for
I
time.
never
See how they
got it.
blame you?
You're not the reason. Yeah, you're right, you did. I will, that's something I will readdress.
They blame her for no reason, she does such a fine job.
You write the letter, then,
Nature of the
Sam.
beast.
Huh?
You
What?
write the letter.
I didn't hear that.
You've got a time crunch though, cause I leave the 21st and I'm gone for 2 weeks.
Well, this particular issue isn't an urgent one in that sense. We've been
Okay.
kicking this can down the road for a long time, so it doesn't have to be decided right
Okay.
away. I just would like to address it though eventually.
were you notified this month?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
I mean, how many times are we gonna bring this up on an agenda? I
Yeah,
mean, this is this is ridiculous though.
That's-
But it's been like every other. Notified, not notified, notified,
It's
not-
been every third.
Well,
Every
this
other.
time it's been every other.
Has it been every other?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got it right here.
Because I saw him yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say anything?
Yeah, he said he wasn't, he said, I can't make it, he's got a doctor's appointment, he's gotta go to the VA.
I just don't know why he
Did you
doesn't
ever ask him,
contact me.
do you want to just stop? I mean, why are you doing this?
JT,
I have.
And what did he say?
What are we advising? Really, what are we
Well, then
advising?
resign.
That's what he says to me.
Yeah,
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got a quorum today.
Yeah, well, and if we get it down to 7, you know, the 6 that we have here usually make it. And I don't know is Virginia still a health situation that she's not here? Do you know?
No, I think she was,
I think she's okay. She might be, I know they were going on a cruise, I don't know
there
when.
was something come up. She had mentioned at the last meeting.
Okay.
But she's been
Wasn't
coming
gonna
in,
be
though.
here.
She-
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
she's-
Recently she has, that's correct.
This was
She's done
something
with
she
the
knew
treatments,
about.
I believe.
but to get it done, you only need 5 for a quorum, right?
Oh, we get it down to 7, we only need 4.
Right.
You know, we're basically
It'd be nice
down
that
to-
all the members do come and put their 2 cents in, though.
How can he make it, I don't understand how he can ask, what are we advising on if he never comes? He wouldn't know anyway.
Are you going to the next Gateway meeting? Do you go?
Well,
on?
I remember the discussion now, we said I was gonna get a letter and she was gonna get it out to them
Yeah.
and put a request, something very simple.
Mhm.
I will try to do that and get it.
You
out.
wanna just kick it down one more month? Get the letters out and then make.
If I get this letter out, so that the letter is out, we'll have a response for the next meeting.
Next meeting is what, September
Ninth.
9th? I get back on the 8th.
Is that too soon for you?
No,
You wanna do it, you wanna extend the
Wait,
meeting?
wait.
You
No,
wanna,
what I plan on doing is sending everything out prior to me leaving.
Okay,
I-
let me get that letter out to you, and
The
we'll try to get
agenda
that
and
out in the
all that.
mail,
Okay.
so that we should have an answer or a non-answer by the next meeting, okay? So, while we're on that subject, next meeting date, anybody have a problem with the 9th,
I don't know.
3 o'clock, second Wednesday?
Okay with me.
All right, so as of now, that will be the next meeting date, okay?
Mhm.
I'll back up now. As far as, we have committee requests and audience comments. Anything, Kathy, you have to say?
No, I'm
Okay.
just listening.
All right, I'll get the letter to, on this discussion of absentee members, I'll get the letter out to Diane, and we'll handle that and readdress that. So that can be an agenda item again for the next meeting, okay?
Mhm.
As far as committee requests, I'll go around.
I was gonna ask, but he isn't here, has there been a decision on, the landscaping for the islands?
I am, you're talking about out on Gateway Boulevard?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there a chance that,
Bill?
we can, I think this would be Scott, would be more appropriate.
I can check with him.
See if he's free.
I sit in that meeting also. Basically, what they decided last night, that they met last night, they're meeting twice this month, was they made a motion to approve, to look for an LA landscape architect to come in and just do the islands, in addition to going out for a RFQ for, you know, the big picture, the master plan. Because it just needs to be done.
One of my objections to moving the trees was that I knew there was no plan at that time to replace them with. And I felt that was an unsafe situation, as well as it just looks like crap. And I was assured by members of the Board of Supervisors that they would accelerate that process, and it's my understanding, they told that committee to have a plan ready to go with, to get something planted, and that when those trees
Well, they
were removed.
have, they've come up with many things, but apparently the residents don't like it. We
I
keep
don't
getting
think residents have seen it.
Our residents?
I don't know, we've gotten feedback and comments, so then they keep changing
I
it.
haven't heard
Do you
or
go to that
seen
meeting?
anything.
I'm at that meeting.
What,
Want me to comment?
yeah, of
Really?
course.
Okay. The plans yesterday were, brought to the attention of the committee. However, because, someone stated at the meeting that the plants cannot be higher than 12 inches.
That's ridiculous.
Who stated that?
Jesus.
You can say it.
Paul said it, that's what the
Paul
Lee
Winter.
County said. However, so everything in their plan, I have them out in the car.
Well,
I've got them here too.
So if you wanted to see, I mean, was higher than 18 inches.
Are you kidding?
No,
It's 18 inches from the asphalt, 12 inches from the dirt.
from the dirt.
And you have to have
18
100
inches
feet
high.
clear zone from, each median, there's gotta be 100 feet clear zone. And depending on the length of each median, then you can't
What do you
plant.
mean clear zone?
It has to be clear for visibility. It's called a vision site triangle. And apparently, I don't know if they met again with Lee County, and Lee County said, no, this is what you're gonna have to go by, or we're not gonna.
Well, what kind of plans
They're
were
playing
they?
this, we're not gonna approve it, we're not gonna accept the
What
road
kind of
game.
plans were they?
And they're using that as a lever, and I'll tell you, they're going beyond their own, I've read the master plan
Well,
from
then,
from
another
2010.
person,
Mr. O'Connell? is it?
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell?
Ale.
Yes, he
Mhm.
was there.
Yep.
He's the one who moved,
The trees?
the trees, the palm trees, and that's a question, Diane, I don't think they're irrigating them.
Well,
I don't know who to ask, but anyway.
Al is on that, I believe it was
They
part
better,
of his
cause we'll lose them if they
contract.
don't.
Okay.
Well, we've had
So
so much
anyways,
rain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
not
eventually
lately,
it's
not enough.
Should be irrigated, go ahead.
Mr. O'Donnell was there, and so was, Rod Senior, okay? And Mr. O'Donnell said that, that if you present to Lee County, even if they're higher than 18, and he gave a list of plants that would look really nice and colorful, and he said that you need a landscape architect. However, Mainscape wasn't too thrilled with that, but, they weren't.
And part of that is safety and maintenance, and, you know,
Here's the ridiculous part of
I
that.
can go in my car
They-
and get the list.
Go get it.
In all over the country on
I
such
can
roads.
I can tell you what they are.
They put up boundaries and sight line, to block headlights so they're not in your face.
But this is
That's
for
done in
turning
Pen-
onto, there's turn-ins onto Gateway Boulevard,
Okay,
the nose of some of these medians. And so if someone's trying to cut across and over, you have to
so
have
at
clear
that
zone.
spot, so sort of like what they
Yes.
have at the end of Gateway,
Yes,
which we never got at the other end of Gateway, by the way. Even,
but I'll name some of the
Griffin has.
plants that he mentioned, other than what Mainscape had already come up with, Nancy Clark had come up with some plants. The things that Al O'Donnell mentioned was, the horizontal cocoa palm, the Alexandra palm. He mentioned, gotta think,
Horizontal cocoa
pink
palm.
hibiscus, and copper leaf. Copper leaf, and then a couple other ones, Al mentioned, it's called Wedelia, and, let's see. I'm trying to think what else, oh, the Kunchi, or,
Coochie, yeah.
and, there's another one called Tharanax radia, I think it's called radiata.
Yeah, they're trying not.
Those two were trying to, they were already part of the plan.
what
But
is-
these things do, some of them do require a lot of maintenance for trimming, and they overflow into the road, which means they're gonna have to keep trimming that from the roadside. There's lots of things that,
6 1/2 dozen the other double-edged sword. Yes, Ken?
Okay, yeah, he was, Mr. O'Donnell was very upset with their things. He says it has to look nice. That was the agreement when he moved the palm trees.
I agree.
And, I did make a comment, like I always do, that, about, why they said they couldn't have any kind of sod. And I asked, the one little simple question is, why can't you have sod? I mean, Mainscape is paid to mow, and they mow now between the palm trees, because it's too dangerous. They
All of
don't-
a sudden, it's too dangerous.
It's too dangerous, Mainscape.
well, one of their guys did get hit just recently.
Really?
Yeah, got hit by a truck.
But then if we didn't, if
And
we
he
had the
was
palm
in the
trees-
median and he got hit. So,
This is since the palm trees have come down?
I think so, I
Yeah.
think this.
Gee,
said
what a
that.
surprise.
Wait a second, he got hit in the median on our,
No, I don't think there, but
Oh.
just doing mowing and trimming or
Okay.
whatever. No, I don't know the location.
Well, probably it was there.
I don't think they're
Sorry,
mowing that right
I
now.
moved around.
No, not
It's
now.
dirt.
Go ahead.
And, Mr. Senior said that, if we need an LA, or landscape architect, then there is money in our budget for the takeover for it. Then that's what we should do, because he said the residents need to see it to be nice, and not just put together just for the convenience.
Well, they had put, I understand, and you can correct me on this, because it was secondhand information that, not the last meeting, but the meeting before, that came up with this temporary cheap plan that's just throwing something in real cheap to buy time just to handle it. And I know what happens in these systems.
Stay there.
It
Yeah,
would've-
it was a peanut
that's what
perennial
would've
and.
happened.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
would have been the
it's a ground
results, that's what we
coverage.
would've got, nothing would've changed down the road.
I got
Um,
pictures of that too.
Yeah,
Well, the other piece of this puzzle is, they keep calling this a temporary,
that's the wrong word, right?
and because they know that it's gonna all get changed again.
When, though? In
When
10
the road
years
gets
from now?
widened,
When the road
When they
gets-
have to,
the
when they have to
big
remove all the
question
trees,
right
when they gotta widen it to 4 lanes.
yeah, and let's just talk about that briefly. There's not even on anybody's drawing board right now. No one's got money for it, and no one's even talking about that down there. And they're using that as leverage once again. This is a game, we've been
Down
suckers
where?
as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
to
Lee
some
County.
extent.
Lee County?
Yes,
Dear.
because we showed all our
Palm
cards
trees
and
are up
said,
there.
boy, we really wanna get rid of these roads, and then all of a sudden, they just came up with all these reasons of things, how we gotta spend our money to get them to take the roads.
But, Lee County says we have to maintain it, which we will be doing.
Well, we wanted to have control over the landscaping because we didn't want Lee
Exactly.
County doing
I know.
landscaping. But what we've done is we've guaranteed a interlocal agreement that holds them harmless. And if any, I don't know who read that, but it's ugly. I mean, this is not good, and, I've tried to make comments about that, but don't wanna be perceived of holding up the road turnover, so, you know. I don't know, I don't know why Lee County's so concerned about these things, cause we're holding them harmless anyway.
Yeah.
You know, what's their concern, where's their downside? We should've left the trees alone, but that's
So basically,
done.
I think that what I got from Al O'Donnell was you should go ahead and submit, whether they're higher than the 18 inches or 12 inches, depending on dirt or asphalt. Do it and see what happens. Cause he said, and there's lots of situations that he said he could give photos where there are things that are planted that are bigger,
I know that,
so.
I know that, and
He
that's what
did state that.
upsets me when we sat down with the people from the DOT and a couple of county commissioners, and they just were not very honest, let's just put it that way. I don't know what the solution is on this, but I'm glad to hear that Rod was there, he said he would be.
He was gonna reboot.
And I will be
You
there
want
at
it
the
to
next
reboot?
meeting.
It's
When
not
is the
this
next
one, it's
meeting?
this one, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
But Rod can take it to the next board meeting and have his comments to the other supervisors who are not there, because,
These meetings are always recorded.
they should have come up with a plan by now.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at probably the fall, the earliest, in my opinion, that anything's gonna happen there.
Not till October. They've
Yeah.
already decided October.
See, there you go.
Okay, and truly, Mainscape is only coming up with things that they really don't have, they don't have to do a lot of care for. So
Mhm.
anything that, you know, requires any care or trimming or maintenance, they don't want to do, so that was another drawback. But,
So you
I
have
said- like
various
you said,
entities with
O'Donnell
their
was
own
very
interests.
upset.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a picture of something they wanted to put in that was on Colonial Boulevard?
There's red.
No, that was, Darren, when he was running for board.
No.
Senior had pictures
Yes,
on the
sir.
computer,
Well,
of
there
those
i-
bushes.
But
All right,
that's a
the same
lot
thing
of
that's on
oleander
Colonial
and it's
Boulevard.
But
poisonous.
they were,
Poisonous,
that was
yes,
too
that was-
tall, that's too
Well, we
high.
already have oleander up and down
Yeah.
anyway.
But it was
Um,
concerned some of the residents, especially if Orient, or whatever it is near the entrance of Gateway where bus stops are, that children are there and it was a poisonous plant.
Well, it doesn't seem to bother them to have the big trucks drive up and down there in the dark in the morning, does it? But they're worrying about oleander?
Yeah, that was something that was stated to
And
me.
they keep that part trimmed
And
down.
those trucks do not stop at that crosswalk either, they blow right through it. That's another subject. All right, so this is good, well, I'm not surprised, I guess. This is something that's still gonna be a battle down the road, is landscaping there.
I will tell you I just had to complete the entire process for the landscape architect this
Mhm.
year, RFQ. It's gonna be in the paper next week. The ads have already been submitted and, submission of all questionnaires and, letter of content and all that, the scope of work. We have to have it by September 9th at 3:00. So we've moved forward on it.
Okay.
I thought we had a volunteer from the board meeting. There was a gentleman who lived in Canada part-time who
Yes, Phil Squire.
Okay.
Actually, a good opportunity, I got a call last weekend from, of all people, Pam Gill, expressing concern about the median and it looks so poor and what's gonna happen. And she was asking if those, because we have no one from Stoneybrook at this point in time that's on that committee that I'm aware of anyway, the landscaping committee. And she said, is there anybody you can get from your community to help defend? Would you want to be?
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Isn't Jerry Shute on there?
I already tried to get on the committee,
Isn't
and
Jerry Shute on
yesterday,
He's
I,
from Stone.
and
Yeah.
I'm a very honest
This is
person. I
Council
was
House.
called by somebody from the committee and told they weren't gonna vote for me because I don't have the landscaping experience.
And what's their expertise?
And I'm just gonna say, that's what I was told, and yesterday, they voted Kevin Coleman. By the way, I didn't see his bio in our packet yesterday, though my bio was, and unanimously, and I wasn't even considered. And it was just the two of us.
And who is he? Where's he come from? Do you know?
I have no clue because he was,
He is with, Estate Landscaping.
Okay, well, that has some merit, but what community is he from?
That I don't know.
The
Jerry
point
Schuman-
that, the
he's
point that
Schuman.
Pam was trying to make to me was
Yeah, but
that
I
there's
know
no
he volunteered to do
representation on
something.
this committee from the north end of Gateway Boulevard.
Didn't Jerry Shute volunteer for that?
Who?
Jerry Shute?
Is it I just have to
He,
I don't know.
he's
I
a homeowner in
wouldn't say that.
Stoneybrook.
Yeah,
I know
but
it,
what's
but he
nice-
works for
I
Lee
don't think he
County.
cares
Wherever the
about
committee goes on.
homeowner, I think he's
Votes
working
in
for
and
his
the
job.
Board of Advisors will.
I thought he
approve it.
volunteered to do something.
That was
they
way
said-
back when they were doing the streets.
So I did put my name in.
Okay,
And we have to be out of here by 4.
okay, not a problem.
Diane, didn't Jerry Shute, is he doing that for Lee County? Isn't he on that committee, the landscaper?
He's on the committee, yes.
But
And he's
it's
a
for the
Stone- he's-
county.
For the
Right.
county, for
He's the
Stony
city of
Brook?
Fort Myers.
Oh, okay, but he has a home in Stony Brook, that's what I was
Yes.
wondering.
I had heard
Okay,
that
this
Dolores-
gentleman is 20 years of horticulture-related management experience. He's certified pest control, Florida Best
You were right, I'm
Management
sorry, I
Practice,
just
and he has an MBA,
I
a
thought-
bachelor's of industrial engineering from Auburn University.
Way back in the beginning,
He,
volunteered for
a Florida
our
segment
corners
business
or
manager
streets.
for National Chemical Fertilizer Company servicing the turf and ornamental segment.
Okay, well, he sounds like he has,
He is with, he's vice president of estate landscaping and lawn management.
okay. And he does live in our community.
He has
It's-
a, Jerry
Sorry?
Shute? He has a home in our
No,
community.
no,
Oh.
this isn't Jerry, this is Kevin Coleman. the one
Oh,
that-
I'm sorry,
I'm
the guy
sorry.
they did it for.
Says that he is a resident of Gateway for many years and would be happy to be in, help to improve community appearances.
How do you spell his last name?
It's
Hold on.
K-O,
I'll find out where he lives right now.
I was told that Dolores was told to get on the program or get with the program, I should say, or else.
Well, Doris is on that committee.
Dolores.
but I'm not sure what experience or knowledge
What's
she
the
has,
last
if
name?
Well,
any
she
more
doesn't
than
have
Kathy.
any either, but that's
K-O-L-L.
what she was told by Wingate.
M is in Mary, A, and it's N-N is in Nancy, double N.
Right, was she giving him opposition?
She wanted some nicer things done.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, it doesn't have his residence.
Where's
He lives in Cypress Lake. Circle, so Cypress K.
Yeah, it's on the other side, okay.
See, they don't live up there, so they
Wait a
don't
second.
care.
No, Cypress Lake
This is,
Circle.
no, I'm sorry, what's his name? Kevin, right?
Yeah, Cypress Lake.
No, that's Town and River. There we go. Where's Rosemount? Gateway Phase 2 is illegal. Where's Rosemount Drive?
Is that in Hampton Park? No,
I don't know.
Rosemont.
It is Gateway Phase Block 2. It's gotta be in Gateway Greens.
That's what I would have guessed.
You know what, I think you are right, it is, it's over,
Let's golf course. Yeah, he's
in Gateway Rosemont. Greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Gateway Greens. He's right there on the lake. Nice little house.
Well, I thought Margaret wanted to get and be at
Yeah,
those
but
meetings.
It's tough because she's on the.
She's on the supervisor and she can't, but maybe we'll talk to this other individual and see what,
Yeah, but, he works for Lee County, I don't know.
He
if
works for the city of Fort Myers.
that doesn't make.
He's, from what I understand, he is working for the city.
Negates his ability to be on the committee,
Well, no, I don't think he per se,
is available.
no.
Well, City of Fort Myers is
Cares.
different than Lee County, though.
Yeah, but
What's
if he lives
there?
in Stoneybrook, he would care
He
just
doesn't,
as
he has a
much.
house there, he rents it out.
Oh, he doesn't live here.
Right, he rents
That's
it
what I
out.
didn't understand, okay. All right, I don't know what we could do about that, I really don't at this point in time. I know that she asked me, to see if we can come up with somebody to be recommended for the committee, and I don't know.
We'll recommend Kathy.
I know.
I have the pictures of the plans that so far have been submitted from Main Street, they're all here.
Okay. If anybody wants to see them when we get out of the room. Anybody else have any other issues? Or any comments of board members, committee members rather? Nicole?
No,
T? All right, I just have one more thing. Part of what I was gonna talk about was for the median and for the landscaping, but that's, we hashed that out. I don't know if we've come to any conclusion on that. But quotes for paving and repairing the walkway, we're working on that right now. Our office staff is, because I had asked Scott to do it, and apparently we ran up a bill, which is something I need to talk to Scott about. They come up with a $4,000 or $5,000 bill, and I don't know, I'm not sure what that's about. I know Margaret forwarded that to me. I was hoping that I could talk to Scott about that today. In any case, we are gonna come up with quotes, and we're gonna submit them through, hopefully at the next meeting of September, through this committee, to make a decision about approving somebody to repair the paving on the walkway.
The
Some
roots are coming
sections-
right through the
Some
pavement.
sections will be removed, the roots will be assessed, and they'll just make a recommendation as to what has to be done as far as those roots, and when it gets repaved, not the whole thing, because that's expensive, we will do it in a more appropriate professional way, because it was a pretty pathetic job the first time around.
So you're gonna do a recommendation, or you're
We're gonna come up with a
vote on
lo-
it here and then you do a recommendation?
We're gonna bring it to you guys, bring it,
Okay, that
advise
next
it
board
through.
meeting would be September, I think, 17th.
Okay, but the committee will probably do it on the 9th, and
Right.
we'll hopefully we'll have something by then. The thing I'm going to suggest is that, we use money in the reserve account, which is basically for the maintenance of the road and the sidewalks, to pay for this. And I know there'll be opposition on the Board of Supervisors, but that seems to me the way we really should be doing this. That's what we have that reserve account for. And, so be prepared for that next, on September 9th.
Okay,
I'm just
so-
thinking, you won't be around.
But
because
that'll
you-
be an agenda item, so I can put that on there.
Okay, yeah.
And the attendance.
That's what I'm asking, to put that as an agenda
Yeah.
item.
Okay.
And, I'm just trying to think, if we do get some quotes ahead of time, how can I, within the sunshine law, distribute them? Can our office staff distribute them to them? Is that okay?
Mm,
It's not coming from me. Because my question is, if you're not around.
I don't know how that, I mean, you can't discuss them.
No,
Can't
it'd be a
talk about it.
distribution of them so that they have time to review, look at, and be prepared to discuss at that meeting, okay? Normally I would do it through you, but if you're not here, then I
Yeah.
think it's the next
You can
best
always
thing.
send her the email and just forward it to everybody.
And I'll
Such a
explain
stupid
to
law.
Nicole, because this is something that you're not aware of. Normally, we have Tony call when we have,
Yeah.
we'll be out here in a minute. It's still 5 o'clock. We are subject to the sunshine laws. Technically, people call the Board of Supervisors, our Board of Directors, but technically we aren't, we really aren't. There's sunshine-like laws in 720 we have to follow, but it's not like the sunshine laws here. So technically, we're not even supposed to email each other to discuss issues that go on here. We're not supposed to talk outside this public meeting, so just be aware of that.
The fine is $500 per email,
Okay.
per
And
person.
so therefore,
Is it really?
communication to
Oh, I didn't know
us
that.
has to be distributed normally by this office, it would be Diane in that case.
Okay.
And if you want something to be sent to others, send it to her to be the.
Pelican just got their hands slapped because they were throwing emails around a couple weeks ago, and I said, hello, what are you doing?
What they do
Who's
is
this
they walk
Pelican?
And I forwarded it to Tony. Oh. Let Tony
So
handle
just
this
make
one.
you aware, that's
Okay,
why this is, we're trying to decide how to do this. So hopefully that'll be something we will be addressing, and then send it over to the Board of Supervisors for approval.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see that come out of the 004 fund, out of the reserve, okay? Yes?
One quick question, remember last year we voted for that guy to pressure wash the curbing?
Yeah, that should be coming up soon.
When is that due?
Soon.
You know what, I wouldn't,
I didn't think you were happy with
I'm
them.
No,
not,
we
and I, you know
Well, we
what?
signed a 3-year thing with
Yeah,
them.
but I think we should be able to
Yeah,
get
but
out
you,
of that.
30 days notice in that
Put
contract.
that on the agenda too.
Yeah, but I think that's supposed to be done in August, isn't it? By the end of August, if I remember that contract? That's about when we did it last year.
I'd have to look at it.
I would
Yeah.
like to get a quote from that guy Wolf that's been in our community. He's just got them doing the community on 82's wall, but he's got the equipment to do it straight. 'Cause that would.
Well, they did a lousy job last time. And
Oh,
they
they
came
did.
back
They
and
had
they
it, yeah.
didn't exactly make it much
Yeah,
You
better.
don't remember the name?
The stripes.
Rick?
Queen's Sweeperman was the guy.
Superman was the one who did us, yeah.
I think it's probably a 30-day notice in the contract.
Probably is, probably is.
Well, can you ask
I
whoever?
tell you what, if he doesn't do a good job, we withhold payment until he gets it done right, that's all we do.
Yeah, but he did such a lousy job even when he came back.
The lines are still there.
Yeah.
You got anything?
Yeah.
We gotta get going.
I'll
All
make
right,
a
we gotta
motion.
go.
No,
I need a motion.
I'll make,
You know, you got anything, Stan?
No, they already passed that.
You did?
yeah, I thought that's what you were asking for.
Yeah, no.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
Second.
Nobody wants to second it. Nobody wants.
All in favor?
I thought that you were
Aye.
asking
We're
me to
done.
do just
No,
now.
I didn't know you passed up your